I've known about this deal here for a few years. I kind of told some people about it, but not really. And today I'm going to let the cat out of the bag a little bit.
My secret spot.
We're headed to one of my favorite lakes. It's becoming a bigger smallmouth lake than largemouth lake, but it's got some good largemouth in it. But there's a phenomenon that happens here in the spring. It's really incredible. You can catch some giant largemouth in a short amount of time, in enormous numbers. I fully expect us to catch over 100 fish today in less than 3 hours. It's going to be almost every cast. You look at my thumbs. This thumb right here, my right thumb, I really expect to be bleeding by the end of the day. Every time I have to thumb the line, it's gonna cut another like piece of my flesh. It's like the most amazing pain ever.
You got full body of crazy blue.
So I called my buddy Bill and I was like, Bill, it's gonna happen tomorrow. And it only really happens once a year if you're lucky. What we're gonna see today hasn't really happened in 3 years because there's a lot of weather conditions that it all has to come together. It's all gotta be right. Alright? So number one, it happens in the spring. And there's only a 2-week window where it can happen, where the stars have to align to be able to get this opportunity to do what we're going to do today. The first thing that we have to have is clear blue sky. And if you look, there is not a cloud in the sky anywhere. Not for miles. So we got the first thing that we need. Second thing we need, it's got to be the month of April. It is the month of April. And we can't have any snow. So the snow's gone, ice is gone. We're going to launch in the lake. I'm going to show you the water temp in the lake. I'm guessing I think I heard yesterday it was 41. Main lake is going to be 41 degrees. Then we're going to go to this creek that feeds into this lake. And this creek is fed at the end by a giant swamp. The swamp is surrounded by trees. We're going to drive all the way back up into the top of this swamp to where this creek dissipates into nothing but a trickle. And what happens is early in the year, early in the transition of photosynthesis and everything that takes place with the plants and the wildlife back in there in the swamp, before that grass all gets grown up, when it's low, there's a heat index that takes place back in there in that swamp with the sun, because there's no wind and the sun just beats on this shallow water back in there that's only like this deep in some places. And that main lake, 40, 41, maybe 42, this creek water by 2:30 in the afternoon today is going to be 85 degrees. And yesterday it pushed all that warmer water out there into the lake, and that works like a giant magnet. It pulls every fish that it comes in contact with will start to gravitate towards that warmer water and will gravitate towards the warmer water that it can find, to the point where there will be thousands of fish in that creek today. And once the temperature in that creek breaks 65 degrees, there's something that happens with their metabolism internally that makes them ravenous. And so there's a special jig you got to have. I've got the jig. It's kind of an odd color, but it's exactly what they want. And as soon as this jig hits the ground, they're going to eat it. And we're going to catch some giant fish, monsters. I'm telling you right now, this is how it happens. And it has to happen early. In fact, we didn't have snow and we got one of those funky breaks in the temperature in February like we get sometimes, or even January, if the temperature spiked a little bit, there's no ice, and it's like a bright sunny day and 70 degrees, 60 degrees, this would happen. It's all contingent upon there being a clear view of the sun to that shallow water in the swamp. And that's the difference. Now, the reason why this shuts off, there's two reasons why it only lasts 2 weeks. The growth in the swamp starts to come up and the sun can't penetrate it. The other thing that happens is the bullheads and the catfish in them, they get up in here to spawn and they turn this creek into chocolate milk. And when they do that, the bass leave. They don't stick around. Bro, I've thrown everything.
No big one.
Bourbon. Were you trying to hook him?
No.
Yes.
No, he ate it too.
Yeah?
Yeah, he ate it.
Stop. I'll get a nice picture.
He ate it too. Down the Make a footage, son. Flip him, bro. I never caught. I mean, I don't think they ever caught one of these fucking. My boy Jim Root, you know, rooting around. Wow, that's pretty cool. Slimy.
That's a big one. That's a big one too.
That's not big one.
Oh, that's a big one too.
No, I'll put you on fish, son. You just hang out with me.
Oh, that's a big one too.
Tree shaker.